We got some people in the building. We got a great show tonight.
We do. You ready?
We're going to get real deep into some issues, so y'all stick with us. The Old Man Gang is multifaceted. We have different layers like an onion. You know what I'm saying? We're not just all about going to the clubs and showing people getting it popping all the time. We got to get deep sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes you got to go that way,
Ladies and gentlemen, what up? My name is Chris.
And I am Greg.
And we are the Old Man Gang. And welcome to tonight's episode of the Old Man Gang. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm having a good week so far. I can't complain.
Good. I can't complain either, man. So far, I think this week has been going pretty well. We have a good show tonight. We have a very interesting guest that I'm excited to talk to. What do you think about our guest tonight?
Man, it's a beautiful thing, man, because you know what? Sometimes there's difficult subjects to talk about in life, but you have to deal with it, and you have to face those adversities and try to come out positive on the other side. So this young lady is coming out positive on the other side.
I agree. We want to have a very interactive show tonight, so we would love for you guys to comment your thoughts, questions, call in.
Come out. What's the number?
The number?
Yeah, the OMG number. 516.
516-530-4416.
516-530-4416. We're going to get into our topic today, and then I would like you guys to call in. But yeah, we just want to talk a little bit about what's been going on. What's going on in the news, Greg?
Carmela, what's going on?
James Earl Jones passed away.
Oh, man. James Earl Jones. Bro.
He was 93 years old.
93, man. He had a beautiful life, man. It's unfortunate that, he had to go, but he had a beautiful life, and he had a really lasting impression on a lot of people, man.
I agree.
He was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones was a legend.
A legend.
He was a legend, one of the greatest actors of our time and our generation. So, rest in peace to J.E.J., man.
Did you guys know he was in Claudine, too?
Yes, that's one of my favorite movies.
What was Claudine?
I love that movie.
You never seen Claudine?
You never saw Claudine?
Bro,
I don't think so.
That is one thing that you have to do before next week's show. You have to watch Claudine and tell me how much you love it. That's one of my favorite movies.
Diane Carroll's in it. It's excellent.
It's an excellent movie.
So it's like an old school movie?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good.
That's when he was younger, but he was a great actor at that time as well.
It was a really good movie.
Our condolences to his family,
Absolutely.
God bless.
Too bad we couldn't. Generation. He would have been a great member of the Old Man Gang.
Oh man,
if we would have got James Earl Jones to sit on this couch, listen, the sky's the limit. I'm not denying that we could have some really great actors on the show. I agree with what Carmela's saying. Plenty of opportunities for other people to be part of the Old Man Gang because we're growing and we're expanding rapidly. But what else is going on in the news, Carmela, man?
Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining Super Bowl.
And they not like us.
They not like us. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, first of all?
Well, first of all, I think Kendrick Lamar is a great talent right now, and his song is real hot. So I can understand that. But then Lil Wayne is from New Orleans, but it doesn't necessarily mean that just because they're playing in New Orleans, somebody from that city has to be in the Super Bowl.
I don't think it's about him being from that city. It's about recognizing Lil Wayne's talent and his catalog. Lil Wayne is a fucking legend. You can't deny it.
I agree.
Like he deserved. I feel like he deserved that shit way more than Kendrick Lamar. He been putting in work way before Kendrick Lamar was on the scene. And yeah, they say Kendrick Lamar has a dope catalog. I'm not really a Kendrick Lamar fan, so I'm a bit biased.
Okay.
But his catalog is not fucking with Lil Wayne's catalog. Ain't no way.
That is true.
So wait, you think Kendrick Lamar is not as good as Lil Wayne?
In my opinion,
no.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's a great talent. I think he has a great cadence with some of his songs, but Lil Wayne's versatility and his longevity, I think, is because he has a plethora of songs. Kendrick Lamar has some songs, but Lil Wayne has been consistent since he was a little kid.
He's not. If there was a battle between Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar,
a battle? Wait a minute.
Nah, Kendrick Lamar would get cooked.
You can imagine how Drake feels right now?
I don't know.
Drake is at home mad as hell.
Drake is not. Trust me, Drake.
Why?
Drake is not mad. Drake is all right.
You think Drake needs to be headlining the Super Bowl?
Drake could headline the Super Bowl. He has enough songs to headline the Super Bowl.
He's gonna be doing it.
He's gonna do it one day, but not today.
Yeah.
Not next year.
Not
it's
today.
It's all good, man. But Jay-Z and his team make those type of decisions, and maybe because Lil Wayne was supposed to sign with him and he didn't, maybe that skewed his viewpoint. I'm not sure.
But that's speculative, man.
I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what people. That's
but
what
it's a
people,
possibility.
It's a possibility. But do I think Lil Wayne deserves that opportunity? Yes, I do. And do I think he would have been a better performer than Kendrick Lamar? Yes, I do. I think that shit would have been
So
dope.
you know what? During the halftime of the Super Bowl, you can just protest and play Lil Wayne videos at your house and see how the crowd feels about it.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're gonna care.
I don't know if that's gonna work. But you know what? There's gonna be more Super Bowls. I'm sure Lil Wayne would get his opportunity. Thank God the Super Bowl is not in Canada, because if if he was doing a Super Bowl in Canada,
Then what?
then he might, Drake might pass out.
It wouldn't be no Super Bowl in Canada because Canada has their own football league.
Yeah, no, but you never.
It's called
know.
the CFL.
Yeah, the CFL.
Yeah, Canadian Football League.
Canadian Football League.
Yeah, that's where you
Who's
go.
the star of that league? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not from Canada.
Oh, you know what else is going on tonight?
What's that?
The presidential debate.
Yes. Who are the candidates that are debating? Just to be clear, in case somebody doesn't know, Camilla, please tell us.
Who's debating, Camilla?
Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, and former President Donald Trump.
Okay, so those two are having an intellectual presidential debate.
Did you say intellectual?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I said that because I'll say allegedly. She said we got to wrap up by 9 so she can.
Run home and see the debate. I
Yeah.
have to see the debate. I
It's
love Kamala.
important. I want to
It
hear
is
what they have
important.
to say.
You know what? She is right, because voting is important. As we had Noah on the show, remember Noah Burrows?
Yes, I do.
He explained to us
Episode out right now on YouTube, by the way.
out right now on YouTube, man. He explained the different parts of the government and why you should vote for your local leaders, because they make decisions in your neighborhood that could affect you and your children. So,
Absolutely.
People think it's all about the president too.
No,
That's
it's
all they have
it's
to vote.
absolutely.
Local
You have
elections
to
are-
vote local elections.
yes, you got to vote for school council. You got to vote for Greg as the greatest comedian in the
Oh
world.
my
Of
God.
course.
Oh
You have
my
to
God.
vote. And on October 5th, you have to vote for my special, because I'm recording my own special.
Yes, you are.
October 5th is special to me.
It is. It is special to you, and you are special, my friend.
Oh, man,
It's
I'm
gonna be
special
good.
needs.
Yeah.
I got ABCD,
So,
but I'm a well-functioning special needs person.
yeah, all you people out there in live land and on YouTube land, ticket link is in our Instagram bio. If you want to purchase tickets to the Old Man Gang Greg Lockwood comedy
It's
special,
gonna be epic, man.
it's special to me. Tickets on sale now. We have a new addition to our crew, right?
Wow, new addition.
A new addition to our crew. We got my man Damien over here who's snapping shots at me right now.
Wow.
Let's go. Take that. Boom. Come on in the camera. Just say what's up to everybody
man.
in YouTube land and Instagram land. Got this young man that's gonna be working with us. Just come over here. Come over here.
Yeah.
Come over here.
We gotta let him know.
Everybody,
man.
this
We
is
want-
Damien. This is
a
our
gang right now.
This is our new photographer right here. So he's here right now. So how long have you been doing photography?
I've been doing photography, videography for like 6-7 years now.
6-7 years.
Wow.
Are you excited to become a part of the Old Man Gang?
Oh, no, I'm really excited. You guys are hilarious. To see.
Oh man.
And this is the young guy. So DJ Self asked us last week if a 24-year-old could be down with the Old Man Gang. Remember, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 23.
See, 23.
23.
See,
See
Self, we got a 23-year-old down with the Old Man Gang. I told you it's about mindset. Yo,
Yeah.
thanks, Damien. Appreciate you. Keep doing your thing. We glad to have you, and we love that you're here helping us out, man.
Our guest. Okay. We have some of our books over here.
Yeah, our guest is an accomplished writer
Wow.
who has written, I believe, 3 books.
3 books.
So we have a couple of her books on the table right now. Let me take a look at it right quick.
Okay. See what you got there.
All right. This one is called I Never Thought I Would Be a Statistic, and the other one is Becoming Intentional. It's a 12-month empowerment journal, and I guess it basically helps keep your life on track throughout the course of a year. But I'm not going to, tell you what it means or, what it's about. I'm going to have her come out herself and tell you guys exactly what it's about and tell us all about her books and, what her causes are and what she stands for. I want you guys to, give it up, make some noise for accomplished writer, domestic violence advocate,
Yes.
and an overall great person. Give it up
Author.
for Joanne Cherisma. Give it up for Joanne Cherisma.
Give it up.
Come on out, Joanne. Tell us a little bit about what it is that you do and about your cause.
Hi, I'm Joanne, and I'm a nurse by profession. And the interesting fact about me that most people who see me outside, they don't know I'm a survivor of domestic abuse, abusive marriage for about 5 years, and I was able to be lucky enough to get out alive. And from there, I started becoming involved in the cause. So I started going out there, doing speeches, meeting different peoples, and bringing awareness of the subject. And I started an organization back in 2016. And that's how I ended up in your podcast today.
Nice. So you started an organization that revolves around survivors of domestic violence, correct?
Yeah.
Now, how did that get started? Like, what made you say, all right, I want to get this started. I want to do this?
It was a process. First, I started being more aware of the topic when I started going myself to therapy, and I started meeting different women. While going to group therapy, I started realizing it was almost kind of the same stories but different people, and I started questioning myself. I questioned myself a lot. I started asking myself why there's not more like noise about this, since it's happening to so many different people. And it's one thing, like I like to say, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, your profession, your background, your education.
How much money you have, none of that.
How much money you have, it
none of
doesn't
that
matter.
matters.
Everybody's exposed. The very shy person that I am. I wanted to share my story, and I wanted to be more involved. And the first way for me to do that was to write my story. It was easier than talking. That's how I decided to write the first book, and I share my story in it and how I was able to get out. And from there, I started, being more and more involved, and I also wanted to do more, and I started researching. I remember, I think I went to an event, and I was sharing my story to a lady, and she was, well, from this, you can also do that. And that's where the idea of the organization came from. I wanted to be like more available and more and reach out to more people. So
Gotcha. Now, would you be comfortable with like delving a little bit deeper into your situation, just to kind of get people to understand what it is that you went through, and maybe they can understand how to get help from their situation? Now, you were married, correct?
Yes,
To your abuser?
I was.
And when did you start noticing signs that there was something wrong in your relationship, like that it was a serious problem? What were the red flags?
I think it was more a control situation in my case. But
Control?
At first, yes. At first, I didn't see it as being like abuse kind of thing. And I think most women tend to not realize that too. Like he was doing little thing like, well, he will buy me stuff and he will get upset if I don't like them. Trying to kind of know all the time who I was talking to, insinuating stories that, I don't know, non-existent boyfriend.
So he was accusing you of having relationships that didn't exist.
Exactly.
Just being controlling and jealous and things like that.
Yeah.
Those were some of the signs that really kind of led you to believe that something was wrong.
Yeah, if he buy me something, I had to wear it and I had to be happy about it. And some people, they tend to see things like that. Oh my gosh, like, probably will really care about me. But it's just like a matter of control.
Wow. So what are some of the things that you would recommend to a survivor to help them deal with the trauma of an abusive relationship?
I'm only speaking mostly from my experience, obviously. It's to go to therapy because it helps. Because there's a lot of different things that involve in being like a survivor. There's a lot of feeling of guilt because obviously you choose to be with that person. A lot of shame because you put yourself, you stay, you wanted this. And a lot of people feel responsible, like, maybe it's something about me that make the person behaving the way they're behaving.
So you start to blame yourself a little.
Mental things going on, and one step that I'll say to take for sure when you out or on your way to out is like going to therapy. But we know in our circle, especially Black community, it's a taboo.
Now, I have a question about therapy. Now, going through therapy, do you think that an abuser can go through therapy and be rehabilitated? You think they can change?
I believe that because once you're aware of what you're doing is wrong, it's the first step. Going through the different event, the talk, and meeting different people, I realized like a lot of abusive people, they don't even realize that they're being abusive. Especially if they grew up in the environment, that's all they see, that's all they know, they think it's okay. So until like somebody show you that it's not okay, or you realize with yourself that's not okay, so you're gonna keep doing the same thing.
Gotcha. Now let's talk a little bit about your book here. I never thought I would be a statistic. Is your book? Was this your first book?
Yes.
Okay. So here, tell us a little bit about it.
So it's based on the true story. I wrote, it was a way of expression for me and a way of breaking free. And so I share a little bit what happened, how it started, how I envisioned myself when I was younger. And I never thought I would have been in a situation like this because obviously, growing up, I heard stories and they always said, once they hit you once, you gotta go because you're gonna keep doing it. And I grew up being with a really strong mother, so never in a million years I would think that I would have been in a situation like this and stayed. But somehow it happened to me. So I wanted to show that it can happen to anybody, and even if it's happened, it doesn't have to define your future. There's hope for you, right? You can get out. Like there's help. There are things you can do that doesn't have to, like I said, doesn't have to define you as a person, and that doesn't make this thing that happened. It's only one thing that happened among other things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like the
Would
rest
you
of
say
your life.
that is the most personal version of you and the most personal story that you have kind of shared with the public in that book, or do you have other books that kind of dig a little bit deeper into your personal story?
It is one of the most personal things that happened to me. I'm working on other stuff, but obviously I'm human. So I'm still dealing with a couple of other things, and it takes a lot to kind of put yourself out there because people will talk about it, people will question it, people will judge you. I don't want to say judge, but still, they have opinions about it.
You're right. They will. They'll say you can't do it. They will definitely hate on you. So there's a lot of hate out there.
Until you're in a place in your head when you're ready to freely talk about something, it takes a while to put yourself out there. So obviously this, I share it. It was very personal. I had a lot of backlash from it. I had a lot of unexpected reactions, especially from people that I grew up with. They were close to me. Nobody knew that I was actually going through this. So it was kind of like a shock for a lot of people. I had people, old friend who call me and cry. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so hurt. Why you never said nothing? And I had to kind of explain myself.
So now you had to go through it again and explain yourself as to why you didn't make them a part of it.
Not even going through it again. Now I had to feel bad for that person. And then I'm I didn't mean to. It was a lot happening. And
I have a question. I'm sorry. Do you think you didn't say anything because it was a sense of guilt or embarrassment? You were embarrassed
it was
to
all
tell
of this.
somebody that this was happening?
In my case, it was a lot of things involved. I migrate here after the earthquake.
And you are of Haitian descent, right?
No, I'm Haitian, truly, 100%.
100% Haitian. Big up to Haiti in the house. She's Haitian. Haiti in the house, right?
Yes.
Haiti in the house. Okay. Big ups to Haiti.
I came here after the earthquake, and the situation what got me here. It was, and how I met the person, and I ended up getting married. All of this were sensitive subject, not subject, situation, and they lead into this, and I felt a lot of shame in terms of how I let this happen. I didn't react, and I make sense out of it. I was justifying his behavior and how the living situation was, the finances. And I kept going back in my head, where I came from, how I grew up, who I grew up with. And I literally didn't see myself. How am I gonna explain this? How am I gonna call my mom?
Trying to figure out why and how you let this happen.
Exactly. I'm gonna call back home and say, I'm getting big.
No, but that's fine. That's
so
right.
but I had to get to the point where I had to understand that I wasn't responsible for it. You can't control nobody's behavior. Even sometimes yourself, you do stuff crazy stuff. Yeah. So I had to break free from these ideas I wasn't responsible for it. That was the person's choice. I didn't make him do it. So to kind of get myself in a space where I could be comfortable with myself and started talking about it, and letting go of all these ideas, like, of shame and everything else.
Wow. Now, I'm sure there's some women that's going through this type of situation right now. What advice, is there any place that they can go or some numbers they can call to get help? What would you advise a woman to do that's going through
Well,
domestic abuse? at this
obviously
time?
there's the national hotline number. I think it's 800-799, I wrote it down.
Yeah, that's okay.
7233, right?
800-799-7233 is a national domestic abuse hotline?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say that number one more time.
800-799-7233.
800-799-7233. Domestic abuse hotline. Listen, people have to be, not afraid to reach out for help, because I'm sure it's got to be thousands of women that are in your situation, or have been, or are currently in your situation now, that either don't think something is wrong, or they know something is wrong, but they are afraid to say something and don't know how to get out.
And a lot of reaction I've been getting to, a lot of people will be like, I'm not involved, I don't know nobody, and this is not for me. But I mean, you'll be surprised, or many people are dealing with this, they just don't talk about it.
It's like the secret society.
Exactly.
People. It's embarrassing, to tell somebody that you're being abused by the person that's supposed to love you. You know what I mean? It's a difficult thing to internalize, because I've been around for a while, and I've never been in an abusive relationship myself, as far as physically. But I think younger in my years, I was mentally abusive. But as you said, I didn't realize it. So after I learned my faults and my things, I said, you have to change if that's not the type of person that you want to be. Because it's true, because sometimes you could be doing things and you don't realize the impact that it has on somebody else's life,
This
And
talking
a lot of men are
on
like,
people.
they want to be tough, they want to be the man.
You would be
It's a difference,
surprised how many people had things happen to them.
Yeah, and there's different, especially there's different kind of abusive situation, emotionally, psychological, financially, sexual, and it's out there, it exists, but it's somehow, even now we're in 2024, people still don't talk about it as much as they should.
But in 2016, you founded the organization Beyond the Abuse, Inc., right? To help bring awareness to abusive relationships and to provide hope and support. So what kind of support does the organization, bring, and what type of things do you do, in that organization?
So when we first started back in 2016, building people mentally, emotionally. So we were more focusing on having group support, bring like some different event to bring awareness on the topic.
And activities and things like that.
Yeah, so we were trying to more build the mental, because having a lot of people have self-esteem issue, and most of them don't even realize that. So trying to work on that, and then bring the family closer. And as the year went back and I started to be more involved, I realized that a lot of people actually stayed because they don't have no financial means. So it's hard to just, and I live it also myself, it's just to decide I'm gonna go leave when you don't see a future. Especially if you if that person is responsible for the finances in the relationship, right?
It's tough when you're financially dependent on somebody. So you know what we'll do right now? I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's open up the lines. Let's see if some people have some questions.
What is the number?
For you. Why are you asking me? I never know the number. Carmela, what's the number?
The number, right? The number is 516-530-4416.
Now, listen, guys, 516-530-4416. I would love for the people in the audience right now to call in if you have any questions or comments, or if you just want to leave a question in the chat. I can read the chat right now, and I'll convey it to Joanne. Or if you want to leave a comment, just say, you love what she's doing or whatever. Just leave a message in the chat, drop a heart in the chat or something, just to show the love that you're out there and that you're watching.
I got a question for you. I know you received a lot of awards and accolades during your domestic violence survivor journey. Let the people know some of the things you received.
Oh boy, I don't have the list in my head.
Nah, you gotta get.
Can you help me?
You gotta celebrate.
She's like, did you look it up?
Google me, right?
Google. Hold on.
Oh my God. It's something that usually I don't like talking about this.
But listen, this is your accomplishment.
I got your website up right here,
Oh,
okay?
boy.
Everybody, she has a very beautiful website. It is JoanneMCharisma.com. What's up? What's up? This is the Old Man Gang. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, this is Keith Scott. I'm calling from Facebook.
Keith Scott.
Keish, what's up, mama? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I just want to tell the young lady. What is her name again?
Her name is Joanne Cherisma. Joanne.
Joanne, Miss Charisma. I want to tell you such a great thing for you to do. Not only get yourself out, but to be an advocate for other women in those situations, from parent to child, from husband to wife, from wife to husband. I speak on that because I was once the abuser in a relationship, so it was the other way around. I was the abuser.
You were the abuser in a relationship where you were with your husband.
I was putting my hand on him.
Yeah.
I was putting my hands on him. He wouldn't hit me back, but I was abusing him. And I didn't see it as that because I guess because I was the woman.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it as that, but I was the abuser. And the day I'm laughing now, I can laugh at it, but the day I stopped hitting him is the day when he threatened to hit me back.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting side of the story.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
Right. And this man, it was my ex-husband, and I abused him for years, and no one knew. But my dad, he actually went to my family. He went to my dad. He said she keep putting her hands on me, and I don't want to hit her. And like I said, the day when he said enough is enough, he punched a hole in the wall. He said enough is enough. That's gonna be you, and I don't care who you go get.
Yeah.
I don't care if you get your brothers. I don't care who you get. So it comes in so many different forms, and I can talk about it now. I was ashamed for a long time. I was ashamed because then I started hearing about women who abuses their husband or their boyfriends and stuff, and I was like, damn, I'm one of them. And I was ashamed to talk about it, but now I can. You know, it's years later, and I can. So, but I commend you, Miss Charisma. I commend you. We thank you for being the connector, the support for people who are getting abused.
I also want to thank you
And
for.
you said she has a book, right?
Yeah, she has a book. We're gonna drop all the information to where the book can be purchased and everything. She wanted to say something. What'd you say, Joanne?
I want to say thank you for calling and sharing this because it takes a lot of strength to acknowledge this and share it and talk about it. Because I know there's a lot of people in your position that will never admit it and then, decide to change and talk about it. So thank you.
No problem. You know, I'm a true believer in everything you go through is not for you, it's for the next person. So, like you went through your situation, unfortunately, and I'm very sorry you had to indulge in that. But your situation was for the next person. So you survived it. It's a lot of people who don't survive.
Yes.
They leave and they get killed or
on their
person
way
is
out.
stalking them. You know, I have a friend and he shot his wife because she was leaving him. He was abusive and he shot and killed her. He, someone I grew up with. And we couldn't believe it, but this is happening right under our nose. So you are right. You're right, and I appreciate you. But yeah, it took a lot of courage, but that's why I'm gonna call in, because my situation could change someone else's life.
Yes, definitely.
But I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm not gonna hold y'all on, and I'm gonna continue to watch it. And I just want to say, good job, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Keith. We
Thanks so much,
appreciate you.
Keith.
Always. We love you. Thank you for calling in. We're gonna talk to you soon, all right?
All right, love you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Wow, that was touching,
Yeah.
You don't look at it from that angle as a woman to be an abuser because people think, the man is always stronger. But sometimes women are abusers as well. Not always physical, sometimes mentally, sometimes both.
Yeah.
So.
It seems like your story has resonated with our viewers, and that's dope. But let's talk a little bit about becoming intentional. This is a little bit different. This is a little change of direction. Let's talk about that.
Becoming intentional. It's a 12-month empowering journal. Where the idea came from, I remember that was still on my process of getting better. and
Your
recovering.
healing process. You were still in
Yes,
your healing process. Yeah.
On my road to recovery, like I like to say it, I had like a lot of ups and downs. And there's a time where I was really, really, really depressed. And but being so, I realized it, and I didn't like how I felt. And oh my gosh, like I'm getting emotional talking about it. I have a I have a son, right? And every time I tell the story, I always say I'm very grateful for my son because I feel like he kept me alive. Because being responsible for another human being, I felt like I had no choice than being there. So I had to be like strong. He needed me, right?
Of course.
And I had to be there. So even in my process, I don't want to say selfishness, but kind of selfishness and feeling down and depressed, I would look at him and I'm like, I can't give up. Like, you know, even if I will, a lot of time I consider checking out, but I will look at him and I'll be like, I can't do this, right? He needs me. So I always say like, oh my gosh, my son kept me alive. But people know, they don't always understand what I'm saying.
They don't understand that he literally kept you
literally
alive.
Kept me alive. So I was really feeling bad about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be better. I need to do better. What can I do? And I started reading and going around and then trying to like find different ways to get out, and the idea came, right? And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna spend a year working on myself and see what's gonna happen. And then I started having more ideas and stuff. So I was like, okay, like each month I'm gonna focus on something. So in December, every December I have that habit where I take resolution for the following years and I write things down. I always love writing things down. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do this for this coming year. And I started looking for ideas. The first month, the first theme that came in mind was boldness. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on this. So boldness, what can I do? Like I never done before, like something bold. So what I did this year, like I shaved my head entirely. And I wanted to start
That's
like
pretty
fresh.
bold. That is pretty bold.
And like people, they understand, but
so explain,
that's
like,
where the
explain the
idea
overall
of the journal
concept
came from. So
of
every
each
month,
yeah.
There's a theme. January is boldness, February is forgiveness, because even when I was like saying, like I move on, I realized I was holding on to a lot of things, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, because it's a way of releasing yourself. It's like you carry other people who hurt you, but it's like they forgot they even hurt you sometime and they move on with your life. But I'm carrying this,
and you're still
like
holding
every time
it.
I see you, like I remember this. I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, maybe you should let go a little bit, girl. It's not that serious.
Well, that's difficult sometimes.
It is very hard. And one of the sessions where I was working with a group of people, we had to write different letters, right? Some people, they had to write letters to their abusers or letters to their parents. So it's like a way of feeling themselves. I had a lady, she wrote a letter about somebody who passed away that she never forgave. So forgiveness can really, not forgiving, somebody can really have a hold on you like more than we realize. Yeah. And it's hard. Sometimes you think you forgive and then you see that person and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish you weren't here no more. And I'm like, oh, maybe you didn't forgive. It goes along for every other month. Like March is self-love. So I did a lot of like things for self-esteem, taking care of myself, like, like girl stuff, like spa, whatever. So
just really enjoying yourself,
exactly.
appreciating yourself.
And at the end of this year, I saw the difference. I was feeling better. I was feeling lighter. I'm more free. So I was like,
and lighter, literally too. You lost a lot of weight, correct?
Yes. And I was like, oh, that would be a great thing to share with other people. It's the same way it helped me. You never know, it might help other people. So that's where the idea came from. And then I worked on it for a little while, and then it came out.
And then it came out.
Now, where can people get these books? Where can they find them?
Well, first of all, they can find it on my website. It's www.joannemcherisma.com.
That's www.joanne with two N's, right?
Yes, JoanneCherisma.com.
Charisma, C-H-E, not A. Cherisma, JoanneMCharisma.com. You can check out her story. She has her bio on there, which is really incredible. I read it. It's very intriguing. And you
And
also
obviously they're on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and everywhere.
yeah, Amazon. But yeah, she's like obviously Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Yeah, you know,
That's a beautiful thing.
I'm in these streets.
I got a good question for you.
Yeah.
Now you write books. Is there something else that you do? Is that the only thing you do?
I also love poetry, so I'm currently working on a poetry book. It's going to be.
So you
It's
gonna be like a rapper? Or?
Oh no, I tried this in my young age. I don't think I can do this anymore. It's going to be in two languages, like French and English.
Okay. So do you speak French?
I do.
I see. So give the people something in French.
Oh boy. Well,
All I know is like French fry.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
My French is not too good. Oui. That's it.
Okay. Really. What do you want me to tell the people?
I want you to tell everybody, thank you for having me, and I am happy to be a member of the Old Man Gang. Look in that camera right now.
All right. Merci beaucoup de m'avoir ici. Thank you for having me, right? And then what else?
I'm happy to be a member of the Old Man
Je suis
Gang.
très contente d'être ici ce soir avec vous
The Old Man Gang.
et de faire partie de Old Man Gang.
Yes, yes, the Old Man Gang.
He's in the old man. You're not a man. You're
Oh
not
my
old.
gosh, no, none
But
of
you
the
in the Old
above,
Man Gang.
but I'm in the Old Man Gang. I don't know
I'll
how that
take it.
happened.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know how it happened, but I got
It
initiated.
happened somehow.
Yeah, nah, but it was great, man. We love your story, and you know we appreciate what you're doing. What else do you have coming out? I think you said you had some other things that you're working on.
Obviously the second part of this book, I've kind of been struggling with it, to be honest, because so many different things happen after. Oh my gosh. But I started writing it and I stopped and I started again, because it's kind of like, I don't want to say hard, but it takes a lot to go back and relive things that happened. Sometimes that's when I realized that I didn't move on from other situation, and then I have to like take the time. Oh my gosh, like this is still affecting me, and have to pause and deal with it. So it takes like a lot, you know. But I'm working on it because a lot of people have been asking questions like, "What happened? What are you up to? What's new?"
Just kind of regarding the situation, I think this is important. This is important too. So, you know, as a woman, you always believe that your abuser may not really be like that. Sometimes a lot of women tend to make excuses for the man. He's not, you know, he's just mad or whatever the case may be. At what point in your situation did you realize that this was who he was and that he wasn't going to change and that you had to get out? What was there a deciding factor? Did something happen? Was there like a turning point where, you know, he put his hands on you finally, or what was it that said, you know what, this is who he is and I got to get out?
In my case, I'm somebody who doesn't like to give up, right? So, which is not always good, I think. It was bad for like sometimes, but part of me felt at the beginning, right? So maybe I could make the situation better. And a lot of people go through that, right? So I'll try to like behave a different way. So maybe
You were thinking it was you and your behavior could change
yeah,
his behavior.
you know, if I'm more quiet, because I talk a lot, okay? So maybe if I'm more quiet, more accepting, that will make a difference. It did not really. So I tried that, and I got to a point where I totally shut down. So not only I wasn't talking to relative or other people, I just stopped talking in the house, period.
Yeah.
So, but a lot was going on in my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dying inside, and I don't know how to get out of this situation. So I went through that phase, right? I gained a lot of weight. I was very depressed, but you know, my son, I had to keep going. And it got really bad. It got bad because I guess the physical abuse part, you know, was becoming a bit more of.
Did it become more frequent, and was that what it was
I
that
would
kind
not
of made you
say
feel like
more frequent, but it's like I always felt like I had to watch like what I was saying, what I was asking, like, because if I would be persistent asking something, the situation will escalate, and I didn't know where that will take me to. Or,
right.
But deep inside, and also being a Christian, right? You know, so I'm like, okay, as a person, I don't like giving up. So I felt like giving up on my marriage will be a failure, and it's like me failing. And I was like, I can't. Exactly.
Yeah,
so I'm
a
like,
lot of
I
people
have
feel
to
that
make
way.
this work, right? And then it's like getting divorced, and then now like I don't want my son to grow up without his father. I grew up without my dad, and I never wanted that to like my son, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do this, trying to figure it out. So I figured out everything that I could, and it didn't work. Unfortunately, my trigger moment, I would say. It's not very nice. I'll write about it a little bit in the book as well. It's that one night, after everything. And there's a lot of things that happened also that I did not write about because I felt like, mostly because of my kid, I didn't want him to read this in a book. That special night where, he was cheating again. And, and I had talked to the women and the women call him or whatever. So now he's like really mad. I'm whatever, you know how this goes. So he came home very upset. Situation escalated and then he started choking me and my son was asleep. He woke up, he was crying and he looked at my son and he kept going. So that's when he clicked in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die. And I don't know what's gonna happen. He's gonna take my kid somewhere and nobody's gonna know. And I was like, this is never gonna change. I need to get out. And then, I was able, it was weird. I've run out of the house without shoes. I went to the gold digger next door because everybody knew him and knew me, right? Because he had took the phones and I went there and I was like, okay, can I borrow your phone to call 911? And the guy looked at me and he was like, why you want to do that? And I'm like, look at me. That's not my natural way.
I don't look like this all the time.
For help. And then he looked at me. He was like, why you want to get him in trouble? He's such a nice guy. Like, why you? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally gonna die in this.
And you part of the ops right now.
And I don't know when people gonna find my body, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And this kind of click in my head. I'm like, I need to do something about this.
And I know that's difficult, and that's the child's father. Now, do they still have a relationship?
No.
That was actually
a quick no way.
That was actually my next. That was actually my next question.
Oh my gosh.
Would you ever allow him to be a part of his life?
At the beginning, my main thing, because there's a little thing that happened after that night, and then I felt like I had to protect my son. It's not like at first, my main instinct was to survive, right? He came back the next day and he did something. And I was like, okay, I need to get help. And so, started the process, going to court. And it's something that happened with a lot of survivors too, because, it's like now you have to go to court and then defend yourself.
And now you have to go through the whole long process.
And showing oh my gosh, this and this and this and this. But what happened in my case that kind of I felt like was sort of a blessing to us, maybe not to him. After a while, he stopped coming. He just vanished. He never came, right? So based on that, he missed a lot of earrings.
So he just lost the right.
Yeah,
basically.
and then we had other protection and everything. We eventually moved, so we never heard from him again.
You didn't hear from him again.
And I was like, and I heard stories, and I was glad to hear a couple of them. But I had a couple of triggers. It's a different story. I'm working on different books, but
you can save those. You can save those for the books. You don't want to tell all of your stories because we do want people to buy your stuff, to reach out and hear your story. And everybody is looking for it. A couple of people said that they're interested in the poetry, so we're excited when that comes out. You make sure you come back and you tell us all about it. Maybe read some of the stories from the poem. So we got some comments.
But when it comes to my son, I wanted to mention too, I wanted to, even if he's gonna choose as he get older to have a relationship with him, it's not like I'm gonna stop him, but I wanted to make sure that he was old enough to process in his mind, know what's wrong and right kind of situation. Because a lot of child of abusers, they tend to become abusers themselves, and I didn't want that for my kid.
Right. No, that's true.
I think we have somebody on the line that actually needs help at this particular time. You see that?
Yeah, she says the man that killed her boyfriend and stalked her at age 12 is Frontals again.
This is Annie. Annie, you want to give us a call? You can give us a call. How we looking on time, Lawrence? How we looking on time? We got time for one more call?
We got time for as many calls as we can get.
All right, so
So listen, so third year in a row she needs help. He tried to kill me 4 days.
So Annie, if you'd like to give us a call, the number is 516-530-4416. You can talk to Joanne. We got a few more
Don't have
minutes.
to be online. You can talk behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And we can try to reach out
Oh,
and give you some help.
she said, how do I call? It's 516-530-4416. You can call right now. We got the phone right here. Give us a call. Because, we want to hear a little bit about your story as well.
First, we want to make sure that she's safe where she is.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? This is the Old Man Gang. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, this is Annie. I'm calling from Mastering.
Hey, Annie. How you doing? This is Chris. How are you? Good to hear from you again.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad you tuned in tonight. So we were reading that, that you had a little bit of, a situation with yourself. Would you like to share your story with Joanne?
I was watching this and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, every time I look at Chris, something crazy happens. So I got a letter last night that the man that murdered my best friend, who he was stalking us when we were 12, is up for parole again in a row because they keep making mistakes at his parole hearing. So then he gets another de novo hearing the following year. And it's like, how many times? I've been doing this since 2009. And I don't know what to do anymore. People say, oh, well, he's not going to get out anyway. It doesn't matter. But it's like, how could I not do anything when he tried to kill me 4 days before that?
Are you able to attend the hearing and speak at the parole hearing? Because I know a lot of times victims and victims' families are allowed to attend the hearings and speak their mind. Is that something that
They won't let you do that anymore in the state of New York.
Wow.
They will let you write a letter. So I only get to write a letter. I don't even get to make a video and send it. And at the age of 12, I was not allowed to go to court to say this man was stalking us.
Yeah.
And we told our families, everybody. Back then, nobody knew what stalking was. But boy, did the witnesses come forth and say he was always watching those two girls. But he got convicted of second degree. But he obviously planned it. He was grooming us. Like I said, he tried to get me into the same wooded area that she was murdered on, right here on Long Island. And I just, I spent the whole day calling senator, DA, and somebody had the audacity to say to me, well, that was a long time ago.
Well,
and I was like, are you kidding me?
How much time did he spend behind bars, or has he currently served?
This would be his 40th year.
Damn.
But this is the thing, and this is what I wanted to talk to your guest about. This is the thing. I recently asked for his day by day itinerary?
Yeah.
Yes, because I wanted to know, is he bettering himself? What is he doing in there? Well, he's at Wyoming prison, which is across the street from Attica. So, because once you're in 25 years, they'll move you to
minimum security.
Minimum security, right. So he went across the street. But he keeps getting put in the shoe at Attica for, guess what? Harassment and stalking.
Wow.
But here he is getting another parole hearing. And the state of New York, from what I understand, is letting so many people out of prison regardless.
Now, do you?
But I'm scared he'll come after me because he's written me a letter.
Oh, wow.
That was my next question. Are you in fear, for your safety if he comes home?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. So I don't know what else I can do besides write my letter, the same type of letter that I keep writing. And I'm an author, so like your guest. And I love poetry. And I have all of these, like I just put up on my TikTok, chasing maps, like how I became his stalker. Not on purpose, but I realized I followed him everywhere to see how close he was, know where he was.
Right.
It's become like my obsession now. 40, it seems like just yesterday to me, though.
But you've been dealing with this the majority of your adult life, pretty much.
Yes, I believe that's what made me sick.
So when I opened this letter when I saw the envelope last night, I said, "Oh my God, they're about to tell me he's getting another parole hearing," and he is, and I just can't believe
Well,
he's
I
built
have to tell you that parole hearings, every inmate is entitled to a parole hearing after.
100%.
Yeah, they're all entitled. So just because they get a parole hearing doesn't mean they get out. But you
I
are,
know, but
as
the
an
thing
inmate, you
is,
are entitled to a parole hearing. They have to hear you
right?
out.
But he keeps getting one every year. And the thing of it, because they keep making mistakes. And the problem with that is it's not fair to the victims left behind
Yeah.
because we have to deal with it all over again every year. And I just had heart surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So, like,
I
and I,
transported you. I met Annie in the ambulance. She was my patient.
by the way,
Wow.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's how we met.
That's how we met.
You
Yeah.
took good care of me. But,
Yeah.
like, thank you. So, I believe I'm sick because the moment I found out she was killed, I felt everything in me slow down. Like I felt it all slow down. And I've been sick ever since. So when I get this in the mail last night, I haven't been able to sleep. So that's why I write and want to know is he doing things to make himself a better person? So then I'll stop trying to keep him there. But if he's harassing and still being a mean person, then I'm going to keep doing this.
Well, make sure you keep that letter that he wrote you as proof for one
I
thing.
already burnt it.
Oh, that wasn't smart. You have to have
I know.
proof.
I know.
You was
I
angry.
was
I
younger,
get it.
And I was younger, and he also wasn't up for parole yet, so I didn't understand the procedure. I was so grossed out when I got it because he was yelling at me for turning him in.
Yeah.
Because I turned him in.
And of course that happens. Yeah. But
So
go ahead.
I guess my advice would be I would like to advice on what do you think I should do? Is there anything I could do more than just write a letter, or do you think it's just a waste of my time and energy?
I'll let
Say something.
I'll let Joanne. I do have
Thank
a
you.
response for that, but I'll let Joanne answer because she has a response. So go right ahead.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a comment real quick because you said something in terms of you would like to know if he actually really trying to be a better
Yeah.
person,
Yes.
and then you will leave him alone. And what I would tell you, but this is like, there's no way for you to find out what's going on in somebody's heart. Like there's no way for you to know 100% like where he's at, in his life right now, and if he's actually really, if he changed or is he a better person. So tormenting yourself about getting to know, it's just gonna do you more harm than good because there's no way, to
Right.
know for sure. And people actually do lie, and people fake situation.
They'll do anything to get
And
out of jail.
exactly. So feel like maybe spending a little bit more time on your healing process, but while you're still being careful. I'm not saying that not considering the fact that he might get out, and I know what that can do to you because it's really stressful and it's scary. And every time you have to go to court, it's like you're reliving the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, like obsessing over like what he's doing, it's not gonna help you either. So there's the best thing I will say, like if you're able to do it, is to kind of like get a lawyer and talk about what's going on and see what your options are. There's and I know, like, obviously in New York the justice system really sucks, and it's
I
not.
volunteer. I volunteer for parents of murdered children, and
Oh my gosh.
what I do is when a new family comes in, I'll talk with them about their lost loved one, and then I'll write a poem about their lost loved one's life, and I'll say to them, I present you with this poem about their life, and I would like for you to try to remember their life and not their death, because I spent so many years only thinking about her death. So I know what you mean about that, and that's why I try to advise, say to other families where it's new, to concentrate on their life, because that's where the joy is, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying desperately.
Yeah,
It's very hard.
it's easier said than done, but it's something that you have to do like consciously, right? If you have to get up every morning, write it down, remind yourself, okay, I'm doing this today, and do it intentionally. And and if you have to repeat it every day until it becomes an habit and become part of you. But obviously it's not something that's going to happen, tomorrow. It's going to take some time.
Yeah,
well, you have great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Wow.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it. Since this literally just happened, I said, by the grace of God, I got to see this. This is...
Well, we're glad that we were able to share her story, and that you were able to get some information. And Joanne, I think that was some really good advice that you gave her. You cannot change other people's heart. You can only change your heart. So that was that was really some good advice.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And it was because of you that I asked for the information. Because I wanted to see if I should let him reform, like you mentioned. So you inspired me to do that.
Oh,
so thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I appreciate you again for calling, Annie. Just stay tuned. I know you already subscribed to the YouTube, and just keep watching, because we here for you.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Wow, that was something. That just goes to show you never know when is the time that you can help a person, because there's people out there still suffering from domestic violence, and they don't know what to do. And even from all of these years, he's been in jail that many years, and he has like a piece of her life that he controls. He has a piece of her life. Yeah. So she lost a piece of her life to this guy.
Some things, once they happen, it's like they stay with you forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. That was deep.
That was something, man.
That was deep.
But you know what? It just goes to show that, you can help people if you're out there.
Yeah.
And there is help out there, but people don't know. Sometimes they don't know how to reach out to get it. Sometimes they're afraid, but you can't be afraid, because it's your life. It's your life in somebody else's hands. So you gotta be strong, and you gotta be able to overcome these things.
And that's also show you that you have to be, graceful towards other people, because you never know what they're going through.
Absolutely.
It's been a great guest.
Absolutely. We loved having you, and we can't wait to have you come back when you have the rest of your material out. But before we go, I want you to one more time tell everybody your website, where they can get your books, and what you have next before we wrap it up.
Okay, so I'm obviously on social media. Okay.
So give out your Instagram, all of that. Tell them to follow you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Joanne M. Cherisma, JoanneMCherisma. And also you can find me online. My website is www.joamcherisma.com. And you can find everything about me. You can reach out if you have any questions about this. If you
and all your information about your organizations and everything is there
and
as well.
Organization Beyond the Abuse Inc. and the website is www.beyondtheabuse.org.
Nice, very, very nice.
And obviously, you can reach out to Chris.
Exactly, old man gang. Old man gang. That's right. We on these.
Convey the message. We'll make sure that she gets the information.
Exactly.
And if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to tell somebody, that you're being abused. Don't be embarrassed, because it's not embarrassing. It's life.
And I always like to say, as long as you're alive, there's always hope, and there's always hope at the end of the tunnel. Just walk towards it.
As long as you're alive, there's always hope. I like that, and that's a fact. Well, once again, thank you for thank you for coming and being a part of the Old Man Gang show.
Thank you for having me.
We can't let you go without doing something, right?
Oh my gosh, should I be nervous?
No. We gotta officially initiate you as a member of the Old Man Gang.
Initiation.
Initiation into the Old Man Gang. So you're gonna look in. This one right here.
Okay.
Yo, you're gonna look in that camera. We have Joanne M. Cherisma, and she is now officially a member of the Old Man Gang. Yes, sir. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. It was
Of course, you're welcome. All right, listen, thanks everybody for watching the show. We appreciate y'all. And listen, before we go, stay healthy, stay strong, and stay safe. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.